driving on the Neffs and Laurys Road, heading towards Rising Sun. And
this is where the Huffman farm was, right to the left?
Yeah, that was a farm there. I remember that. So here's Paul Schneck, my father.
Hello there.
He's 91. We're heading towards Rising Sun, where he was born in 1931. And we're going to make a few stops along the way and point out some areas of interest in the Rising Sun area. We're going to first stop somewhere up here. Why don't we stop right in here and get out and do a little bit of walking right here. So we're at the intersection of Neffs and Laurys and Old Post Road, and I remember when there was a farm here, Dad. Do you remember the Watchrings?
The Watchring farm is a big potato farm, one of the biggest around here. The house was right here. And then you had the barns, both sides. That corner there, that's where they had a fence around with the cattle, and they had a pony and maybe some horses at one time. And somewhere there was a big potato cellar too, where they stored all the potatoes.
What was Mr. Watchring's first name?
Roy Watchrings Sr.
We bought potatoes from him, didn't we?
No, I don't
No,
think
we didn't?
No, we
Okay.
didn't have to buy potatoes. We had our own.
Okay, we used to get eggs down at the next intersection at the Ringer farm.
At the Ringer farm,
Yeah, there was a farm at each intersection. There was one down at Bellevue.
That's right.
Yeah. So when you were young, in the 1930s and 40s, this was all farmland?
This was all farmland. You didn't see any houses around here. Across the street, Watchrings owned all four corners here. Further down was the Stanley Fann's farm.
Okay.
But this was a big farm, and it was mostly potato crop. Big potato farmers.
Did he come into your Neffs Farm Equipment store?
They did.
Yeah.
And then Donald Watchring got the farm after his father died, and he would come into the Neffs Farm Equipment store where I worked.
Wow. I can see Neffs Church off in the distance there. It's beautiful around here. I mean, I remember in the 70s, 80s, you know, before the developments were here, this was still all farmland.
Nice houses.
So we're traveling now towards Rising Sun.
The Neffs and Laurys Road.
And again, this was all farmland back when you were young, Dad. All of this around here was farmland, right?
This is all farmland, no houses.
And who lived around here?
This was the Stanley Fann's farm. The barn, they ripped down the barn, and the sheds across the street.
And we're coming up to...
This is the barn where I was raised. I lived here 17 years. This was the Schneck farm. This was my grandfather's farm before that.
We're going to pull off in here. So this was your barn.
That's
and
right.
It was built in the 1930s after
I can show you the stone. There's a stone up here.
Oh, really? Okay, show me the stone.
Here it is. Where is it?
Oh my gosh. What is a date stone? I can hardly read it though. I'm not sure what that says.
It's Jacob.
Yeah.
Jacob S.N.
That is interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was over the other spot.
That's so interesting. So your farm was like 50 acres.
Yeah,
roughly.
In the high 40s.
And you owned the land from Fells Creek, like over that area.
Yeah. Fells Creek starts up here in this farm. And then there's Fells Creek that meets on our, what was our land. And that Fells Creek starts up at the, what was a Kohler farm and the Geiger farm. Just up past our farm here.
And was that pond there?
No, they ducked that.
It's beautiful.
It was there for a long time though. The farmers used to like to have a pond like that so they could fill their they're sprayers. They would pull up and fill up their sprayers
Okay.
to
So
spray the potatoes.
we're gonna go up Fells Creek Road. Let's walk down to where your house was. Your house was a log cabin.
Of course,
You didn't know it when you were young.
No,
Your parents knew it,
it
but
had wood siding, so you didn't see it
right.
till they tore it down.
They tore it down in 1990, Mr. Muth, and he restored it in Orfield Township to his barn. It's beautiful.
Right.
Beautiful, beautiful.
So my house is about a half a mile from where I live now.
Yeah, your house was moved. So where this clump of trees is where your house was.
Where the house
stood. Yeah, about where that mailbox is.
That's about it.
So now we're up on Fells Creek Road, and this was your land, Dad, right?
That's right. Up around here. Where's the barn? Can you see the barn from
Let's
here?
walk down a little bit further.
Okay.
Now, you used to plow up here with horses.
I'm never sure. Yeah, with horses, and later on we got a John Deere B tractor, and that way we could use the horses and the tractor, get a lot of things done. But I used to envy my dad when he was driving the tractor and I had to walk around with the horses. Well, I could see the barn from here, right?
Yeah, it's...
But yeah, we raised a lot of crops. We had wheat, oats, raised corn so that we'd have feed for the animals. And we also had a big garden because my dad would sell the produce in Allentown. He
yeah,
had a
your
regular
mom
route.
and Dad, yeah, right.
So we had we had the chickens, so we sell the eggs, and my mom would clean the chickens and sell the meat. A lot of garden things. I would even dig dandelion. They'd sell dandelion to the people in
Oh
Allentown.
my goodness.
Yeah.
And you
clean it
turned
up.
butter too, did you? I don't know if you
Yep,
said
we
that.
made
That was...
we made butter. We had a butter churn that we would use. I would sit they would have it down in the spring house to keep it cool while you were turning the butter, and it would take a long time, and I would get bored doing that.
I bet. Yeah, I could see the barn down there.
Yeah, I thought we could see it better before.
Yeah,
But
I
now
can see
there's
it. I
leaves
can
on the
see it
trees.
down there. It's really peaceful up here. So you lived during the time the transition from horse-drawn equipment to tractors.
That's
so
right.
you had this, you called a one-row plow, right?
We had one row plows. We had well, my dad, when he used the two horses, he had a left and right plow, so you could go out the row and then come back and make the fur throw the same way. It was called a left and right plow. A single
And that was
plow.
pulled by horses
It was
too?
pulled by horses. We had all horse-drawn equipment.
And this was in the late 40s.
probably late
Yeah,
40s.
by the 19, well, you married in 53,
Yeah.
so this was in the 1940s.
Because I'm not sure what the year our tractor was. I thought it was around a 39 or a 40 tractor.
So you were up here in the summers and spring and fall.
Oh yeah, this is
And
a
there were
good place
no-
to go sleigh riding.
There were no houses up here, obviously. This was
No.
all like everywhere you looked, it was
No
just
houses.
farmland.
Good place to go sleigh riding. Huh?
Wow. You go up in this hill and go sleigh
Sure.
riding.
Oh yeah, when you
With
had
your
a good
sisters.
crust. If you had a good snow with a crust on top.
Yeah. So your sisters, Catherine, Ann, Lois,
Yep.
Trudy.
4 sisters.
Yep. Oh, good times on the Schneck farm. All right, we'll head on to
Okay.
the next stop.
That stone fence is up yet. Oh yeah. When the war was over, the girls made a V for Victory sign and hung it on the front of that stone.
Oh. So yeah, that's where your house was. So now we're heading over. What's the name of this road? It's Cobbler on the right.
Now here's the Rising Sun Garage.
Oh yeah, I remember there used to be a sign on that. Yeah.
Yeah, Rising Sun, but not on there anymore. And Leroy Kuntz, he was our bus driver. There's the pond we used to go skating on. Here's the Earl Frayn's farm. And the next farm was another Franz farm. I think it was J.C. Franz or Frederick Franz. Watch the man and the dog.
Yep. We're gonna head over here.
All these houses, this is all the Franz farm, both sides. And this field here, right here to the right.
The right?
This, in the summertime, they would have picnics here, and they'd string up lights.
Who
and
did?
they'd have band.
Who did?
It was for the Miller's Church.
And where's Miller's Church?
Yeah, I think it was Miller's Church, and they would have picnics there. And boy, when I was a kid, we could see it from the farm. We think, oh, this is really exciting.
Did you go up to it?
We'd go up a few times. We'd go up, and they'd have a hot dog stand and ice cream, and they would have like maybe the Allentown band would come.
The Allentown band?
Yeah, they had a band come though. If I remember right, there was music.
So there was like a big celebration going on.
People really like picnics like that, church picnics.
And it was in this field right here.
Mm-hmm. Right where these houses are.
That's wild.
We could see it from our farm. Wow, that was exciting. Even if we didn't go to it, it was like, wow, we could hear the music.
I bet. Now, you did not own this land up here,
No, we
did
didn't
you?
own this land.
Okay, we're heading up Paradise Road again. And so, you live in the valley. I mean, you called it Rising Sun, but actually Rising Sun was this little village right here
Yeah,
at this
like,
intersection.
That's right, and you can see the stone up there. This was a Rising Sun hotel. What does it say up there?
I don't know.
Elias Kuntz.
I think we're gonna park.
And I think Earl Franz bought the whole thing, and the Bloses lived in his end here. And he was my barber.
So here we are at Paradise Road and Rising Sun Road.
And this at one time was the Rising Sun Hotel. Now, when I was young, the Bloses lived here. They lived in rent. The farmer down the road, Earl Franz, owned this building, the way I understood. And there was like 3 different apartments. And Oliver Bloss was my barber. My dad and I would come up here and get a haircut. And across the street there, the Remalies lived. And down the road here, at the bottom of the hill, was the Semmel farm. Lucian Semmel, and then his son later on, David Semmel, owned that farm.
But you don't remember when this was actually used as a hotel. But it
No.
was a hotel at one time.
I never knew it as a hotel. I always told me it was a hotel.
It says Elias and Catherine Kuntz, 1847. So now we're headed to where your great-grandfather David had a farm. Your great-grandfather David was actually born in the Schneck house, but he had a farm here along Rising Sun Road in the 1800s, and your grandfather Edwin was born here. It's beautiful up here. It's absolutely beautiful up here. Still very rural. And we need to find Echo Road. It's a little ways down. It's actually a beautiful night to be up here. But Dad, you don't have any memories of being up here, really.
No.
Like,
No, we didn't get this. It was too far from home.
let's see over there.
This
there's a
could be
gap.
Echo right here.
You think that's Echo?
Yep.
Yes, it is.
Look at that view.
knock on the door?
Yeah, I want to knock on the door, and I was just going to say, I have a question. Did a Schneck ever live here?
No, Dad, I'm sure of it.
Are you?
Yes. So here we are at Echo Road at your great-grandfather's farm. David Schneck. So you really want to try to go in there, Dad?
I'm going to knock on the door and see if they're going to allow us to talk a little bit.
Okay. All right.
This is going to be an
adventure.
Trial run. Boy, it's pretty though.
Man, I love this up here. It's so gorgeous.
Look at the big houses over there on the hill. You think my great-grandfather lived here?
Yes, your great-grandfather
David
lived here. Yes, he did. It's on the 1876 map, Lehigh County. And it's also mentioned in the Schneck book that he had a farm along Rising Sun Road.
But it's on Echo Road.
Well, it's right off of Rising. He would own all this land around here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Are you walking with me to the door?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Should I knock on the front door or the side door? Probably the side door.
You could knock on the front door. So nobody was home. We tried knocking on the door, but it's beautiful here nonetheless. And we're just so grateful to be able to stand here and know that this is where one of our Schneck ancestors lived.
Yeah.
Just discovered this past year. It's pretty cool. And this area is starting to get developed, but right now, this view over to the Blue Mountain is really spectacular. You have a great view over to the Gap. Farmland over there. So now this was where your orchard was along here, right?
Oh, yep.
Right, Dad?
This is our orchard, and we own that field right there.
Yeah.
Up to the woods.
That's just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And of course that corner down there was where
part of the farm.
That was part of your farm. Wow. Look at how beautiful it looks this time of day.
Talked about Fells Creek before?
Yeah, yeah. But your spring house was like right at that corner of the intersection.
Well,
there,
no,
right?
it was kind of over here to the left.
Oh, okay.
So this is the field that we farmed.
Where those brown,
back in there.
those brown, whatever
So
those
that
things.
spring fed into Fells Creek too. That's one of the tributaries.
This is so pretty. But this was your orchard.
This is
like
our
you
orchard.
had apples.
Apple orchards. And on the other side of Fells Creek was the other part of the apple orchard. So we owned the land up behind the schoolhouse.
Let's walk up to the schoolhouse.
Okay. And this is where my dad went to school when he was a kid.
That would have been, let's see, he was born in 1903, is that right?
1903.
And you were born in 1931.
So he was not able to speak English. He had to learn English in school.
He spoke Pennsylvania Dutch at home.
Spoke Pennsylvania Dutch.
Very, very Dutchified.
And that's kind of unusual. It's unusual like that I'm a seventh generation and can still go down to the Amish country in Lancaster County and have a conversation with them. They're amazed that the English, they call us the English, that we can understand them and have a conversation with them. It's just kind of
And
neat.
how do you start the conversation with them? What do you say?
I'll say to them, "Kannst du Deutsch schwätzen?"
And how do they answer? What did they say?
Well, I had one guy that said, "No."
He was Amish?
Yeah. There's a guy that you live in the schoolhouse.
Yes, we do.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
My dad went to school here.
Really?
He lived in the farm over here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
was the name of the school? Would you know?
Well, I think they call it the Rising Sun School.
Okay.
Yeah. But when we lived here, when I was a kid,
His name is Paul Schneck.
yeah, I'm a Schneck from Schnecksville.
Oh.
We live in Orfield now. What's
Okay.
your name?
I'm Billy Cuck.
What's your last name?
Cuck. I'm from Slatington.
Cuck. Did you say Cuck?
Cock.
Cuck. K-O-C-H.
Oh, that's a good Pennsylvania Dutch name, huh?
Yes, sir.
Kannst du Deutsch schwätzen?
Oh, I couldn't do it.
Oh, no.
No,
But you knew what I said.
no, not even. My dad and my mom would,
Is that right?
but I had no clue on how to speak it. You know, it's like that's a lost art,
Yeah.
the Dutch.
Yeah, so my dad, he learned English in this school. They couldn't, they talked Pennsylvania Dutch.
Wow.
And then these people here bought the farm. Mary Ann, I guess she built a house up here.
Yeah.
She was my neighbor, so we went up there.
Walker.
Yeah, we just talked to her last year, and we had a nice time with her. But the Franz farm was up there, the Stanley Franz, that was her dad, and then the Earl Franz farm was over there. They were brothers, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, so my daughter has taken pictures of that, and she likes to write history, because I was born up in where that new house is up in the hill there, at Copler Road. Near that intersection, that's where our old house was standing.
There was a house there?
Yeah, there was an old house. That's where I was born.
An old frame house, yeah.
Doors in for
Is the blackboard still back on the wall?
No.
Oh, not.
There's no, nothing. The whole inside is all redone. The only thing that would be from the old school is one chair.
Is that right?
That's
Well,
all.
when he'd be putting hay or whatever he put in here, we'd come up here and look in, and we saw the blackboards there
my
yet.
God.
Yeah,
When was that, Dad? Back in the 40s?
probably
Did it have a
back in the
bell
40s.
tower? Did it have a bell?
No, I never saw a bell tower on here.
I was hoping it would.
Are the
have
windows
that.
still in the back there? There was tall windows with shutters on.
Okay, no, just not now.
Oh, no.
No, it's like I said, just like big doors. You can go back and look.
Yeah.
By all means, go ahead. I mean, excuse the mess, because
Oh, that's all right. It's interesting to walk around it.
Oh yeah, well, let's see. Yeah, that's the same windows.
okay,
Sure, that's
But-
what it looked like.
but in the back it's
But they
different.
kept the shutters closed.
Yeah, the shutters, they kind of have them stationary. They,
Where did you live before?
Slatington.
Slatington.
Yeah, on Hungry Hill.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that's why it was great.
When I left here, I was 22.
21, 22.
21,
Were you?
22.
How old were you
Yeah.
when you got married?
I was 22 when I got married. But
And,
now up here, the farmer was Sam Geiger on this farm.
Okay.
And the next farm was Kohler, the Kohler farm.
wow, that's pretty neat that it was all farm.
Then up there was the Jacob Kuntz farm. And back here, if you look back in here, that was the Gogol farm, Harry Gogol. But yeah, my dad owned all this property here, that field over there to the creek, and this was a line fence. We owned all that over to the other farm, to the Franz farm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, like almost 50 acres.
But I remember as a kid, all along the road there, my dad wanted that kept nice. I had to take the scythe
And keep it
and
clean.
keep it cut
Yep.
with the scythe.
Yep.
And he worked with horses in the field.
Oh yeah, I used to work in these fields with the horses.
Oh my God.
But I told her the story. We owned the field up there on the corner, across from that new house. That whole corner there, that road back there takes you to Scheide's. But we owned that field up there. So sometimes we'd go up here with the 3 horses. 2 would be pulling something, and the other one went along. And then somehow we didn't need that other horse. So we, from all the way up there, we'd say, the horse's name was Jerry. We'd say, go home. And this is all dirt road. He'd go down here and walk up there and go in the barn.
No.
Yeah.
That's smart horse. Yeah, I like that. Yes, I do.
I always like evergreen trees because I like Christmas trees. Now it's not a Christmas tree I guess it's a cedar, but to me, it was a Christmas tree. I would think of cutting branches off and make a Christmas tree out of it, but I don't know if they did that. But yeah, it's still standing after all these years.